Next, we're going to use the 2x6 lumber component that we created to build the partial floor joist layout. So let's begin by just taking a look at the final results of that partial layout. This is from the end of exercise 6 in your P1 lab manual. We're going to be using that 2x6. We're going to have to lay it down so that it's horizontal rather than vertical. We have a rim and a rim. These are called rim boards. And then the boards that run perpendicular to the rims and are spaced according to code or spec are called joists. So we're going to get started in SketchUp. This time, of course, I'm going to leave the CMU corner that is built because that's part of the final assignment. Now I'm going to go into my in-model components just in case they're not there. That's how you find them. Click the Home button. That brings you to in-model. And again, we're going to start with the 2x6 lumber. So I'm going to go ahead and select the 2x6 lumber from my Components panel. Now, of course, we've designed it, built it in the vertical application, which is certainly an acceptable use for a 2x6. But for this exercise, we're going to be using the lumber in a horizontal manner. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the rotate command to lay the lumber down. I'm going to select the rotate command from the toolbar. Now this time we're going to actually rotate around the red axis. It means that if this right here was the direction that we were rotating, then we'll be actually going around this particular axis. So remember those really nice lock keys, and right is for red. So first I'm going to lock my axis to red and then select my pivot point, and I'm going to choose either of the bottom corners is fine. So I'm on the bottom right corner right now. I'll click once to select that as my pivot point, and then I'm going to run straight up that compass at a 0 degree to select where I'm going to start the rotate from. Click to say this is where I want to bring the rotate from, and then come on down 90 degrees. So just like before, you can either snap to the green and you can see it's snapping, or you can type 90 in that angle field at the bottom right of your screen. Once you're satisfied, either hit enter for 90 if you're typing, or click with your left mouse button to place. And of course, we didn't create a copy that time because I didn't need a vertical copy. Now I'm going to rotate this same board 90 degrees. So this right now is acting as the rim, and I'm going to rotate 90 degrees and create a copy to create the first joist. So for this one, I'm going to choose the inside corner, and I want to rotate around the blue axis. So again, if this is here, it's just going to spin around this blue axis, which is what I want. I'm going to click up, the up arrow on my keyboard to lock the blue axis, select the endpoint, and I'm going to do the inside endpoint so I don't have to end up moving the joist off of its rim after the copy so they don't intersect or lay over each other. My second click will be at the opposite end of the board. Then I'm going to start rotating 90 degrees. Again, because I want to copy, I will tap Control on my keyboard and find either the red axis or just type 90, enter. And there's my copy. And because of the corner that I chose, I don't have to do any moving or relocating. It works nicely for that. Next, I'm going to make a copy of the first board we placed, which is the rim, to put the rim on the other side to get that duplicate parallel edge. So I'm going to select the spacebar to deactivate the rotate command, and I'm going to click outside anywhere off of the material so that I don't have any elements selected. Now I will select that first rim, And when I copy, before I select the command, I'll show you, we're going to copy from this outside corner. That's going to be our move from, and we're going to attach that corner to this corner so that it's a single motion copy, and we won't have to move it once we get it on the other side. So again, move, and I want this corner to line up on the opposite side, so I click my move from or origin. I'm going to start moving it, and then tap Control to toggle copy, and select the exact endpoint that I'm looking for. Click to place. I'm going to, again, space to get out of the move command, click over here to deactivate the second board I just placed. Now I'm going to use this joist command, and we're going to begin the placement down, and we're going to do similar to that first row or first course of block where we did the move toggled with Control to copy and then used the X2 or X3 for an array. For this floor system, we're going to space the joists 24 inches on center. We don't have to measure from center to center when we're doing that because edge to edge is the same, and it creates an easier move pattern in the design phase. It will measure the same center to center in the field. So I'm going to select the first joist in the series, choose the move command, and here one edge or the other doesn't necessarily matter because 24 inches from this edge over is going to be the same distance as 24 inches from this edge over. It will measure the same, but I'm going to say this outside edge because that's really where I would pull my tape from. That's my first select for the move from location. I'm going to drag it along that board to start the move action, and then toggle with the Control key to create the copy. And this time, because I do want that exact measurement, I'm going to type, and remember we don't have to use the inches command because we're in the inches template, 24, enter to create my first copy. And this one, there's only one more copied, so it's actually going to be an X2 to make two copies of that original board. So I'm going to type again without, I haven't exited the command. If I exit the command, this won't work. So my next keystrokes are X2, and you can see this down in the bottom right-hand corner, enter. And that created the second keystroke. So this is the completion then of that partial floor system for P1. Before you move on, make sure you save.